Hi everyone. In this video we're going to talk to you about how to obtain your CPF. CPF is basically in Brazil equivalent of a tax number that you have in countries, let's say like Canada and the US. In Canada it's social insurance number, and in the US it's social security number. But there is one comment that I have to make. In Canada and the US, they always tell you that you should not share this number with anybody except your landlord or your employer. But here in Brazil, it's very, very common that you always share your CPF with everybody. So for me, as somebody that just came to Brazil as a foreigner or somebody who just obtained the permanent residency, it was a little bit strange because everywhere you go, even at a grocery store or any other store, at the cash they ask you, what is your CPF? And I was like, isn't it the tax number that I should keep a secret just for myself? But as you live here longer, you realize that no, it's basically like an identification number that you use, but for tax purposes. And some stores also, they give you discounts. So you register with them for their discount program that they have. And the only way to identify you is through your tax number or the CPF. When it gets a little bit tricky is sometimes it's overdone because, for example, you call a store and you want to just talk to somebody to ask a question, and when you're going through the options with the phone, you can't even get through to speak to somebody because even for that, the system will ask you to enter your CPF. So there are certain occasions that it's overdone, but in general, it is something that you should really get it if you're planning to stay here in Brazil as a permanent resident. It is required. It's a very good idea to have it, especially if you would like to, let's say, build your credit report and improve your credit here in Brazil. It's highly recommended.
So we were waiting for Bahri to get his permanent residency in Brazil. So then we go get his CPF number. I didn't know that actually foreigners that are residing in Brazil but are not permanent resident yet, they can actually apply for the CPF number without being a permanent resident. So, and I found out that after watching some YouTube videos. So while we were waiting for his permanent residency application, we decided to also start the CPF application, so that the two processes, they were like running in parallel. So one thing that if you want to do it, you have to go to the Receita Federal website. We are gonna put the link below in the description, and there you look for CPF for foreigners. So when you click on the link, then it's gonna open like a form that you have to fill out with all the information that they request. It's like full name, nationality, like an address in Brazil, parent's name, and everything else, this kind of information to identify you. Once you complete the form and you submit the form, there is a page that it's gonna open. It's gonna tell you that you need to go in person at one of the Receita Federal offices, and to complete the application. So what I wasn't sure if I can just go any day that I want or I need to make an appointment. So I called one of the offices of Receita Federal, and they told me that I need to go back to the Receita Federal website and find a tab that says make an appointment. So I found that, so we made the appointment for to complete his CPF application. At that time, it was the appointment, the earliest was in 2 weeks. So just bear in mind that if you're going to do this, you need to actually have like, you know, at least wait for 2 weeks. At least that was our case. But in the end, we were actually lucky because Barry received his PR, or his permanent residency, on October 4th. And then our appointment was on October 7th. So when he went for the appointment, he was already a PR. So in the end, it didn't change that much for us. But again, then the day appointment, we went there. Then the lady at the desk, she requests for his documents. So the only thing that they request us to bring, it was the passport. But because like he was already a PR, so we took with us his passport and also the paper that we received from Polícia Federal saying that he is a permanent resident in Brazil. And she also asked for proof of payment of the fees for the CPF, which I didn't know that you have to pay for it. And then we just like look at her and then we look at ourselves which payment? We didn't have the fees of payment. But apparently you have to go to the post office or Correios in Brazil and ask them and tell them that you want to pay for your CPF fees, which is R$7, around R$7, which is not expensive at all. But again, we didn't have that day. And then she just looked at us and said, okay, I'm gonna do here. If it works, it works. Otherwise, you have to come back another day. She typed for around like 15 minutes on her computer, and then she said, okay, it's done. And in 3 business days, you're gonna receive by email your number, your CPF number, as like in a PDF file as a card that you can print and do whatever you want with that if you want to carry it with you. So that's how we got the CPF number. It was actually very easy. The only thing is the time that you have to wait for, in our case, was 2 weeks, so that you can actually finalize the application.
Yeah, so 2 weeks to go to your appointment, and also the 3 business days that she also mentioned to us. We went, I believe it was on a Friday that we went, so 3 business days. I was waiting for like much longer, but no, actually Sunday morning, surprisingly, I received an email with the CPF number and everything that she told us it would take 3 business days. So it was very fast, very quick. I was very happy because I had started already the process of opening a bank account online. Now I have to specify, this is just my case and I wanted to open a bank account online. If you want to go to a branch and open a bank account, it's completely different. We decided to use one of the banks that allows you to just download an app and open the bank account online. Once you start the process online, it asks for some information and everything, and because I knew I would get the CPF, I started the whole process and I thought I would only need the CPF number. But it turns out, after you put your CPF, then it asks you for some sort of identification, but government issued ID in Brazil. At that point, my process of permanent residency was finalized, but I did not still have the card itself. I just had the paper that they gave me from the Polícia Federal saying that the process is approved, I'm a permanent resident, with which I also got my CPF. But for the bank account, this document did not work. So this is another point I really wanted to mention to you, that if you are going to open a bank account online through an app, wait for your PR card, permanent residency card, to arrive, even if you have your CPF. I was lucky because from the time that you start the process online, the app will give you 30 days to complete the opening of your bank account online. And I was lucky that it took exactly for like 27 or 28 days after the time that I started that I obtained my card, my permanent residence card. If it passes that 30 days, I think you have to repeat again and re-register, so it can complicate it. So wait for your PR card to come. So when you have the PR card and your CPF, then you can open your bank account online and just, you know, get it done. As I mentioned, if you want to go to a branch and open a bank account, I believe the whole process is completely different and much even easier. Maybe even just with your passport you can do it.
So the tip here is don't forget to go to the post office and pay the fees for the seven reais fees for the CPF.
Which we still don't know if it is really required or not. We were told you have to, but at the end she was able to register my name and my file and everything worked out.
Yes, but if you don't want to have any headache and maybe you get somebody else that's not that friendly, so just pay the 7 reais and have the proof of payment with you and then go get your CPF.
So that's it for this video, how to obtain your CPF in Brazil as a new permanent resident. And I hope you found the information useful. As Mariana mentioned, we're gonna also include some links below. And if you have any other questions, any other comments, please feel free to leave us the comments and we will do our best to get back to you and answer those questions to the best of our knowledge. If we know the answers, for sure we will be more than happy to provide you the answers. If you found this video useful, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and drop us a like. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.